Good day, everybody, and welcome to the Ben and Boz Microsoft Excel video tutorial series. I'm Boz.
I'm Ben.
What's going on today, man?
It's a great day to learn Excel. That's what's going on today.
I think so. Are we up to lesson 9 already?
We're cruising through these things.
We are. We're having some fun with them. So
we get into some complicated stuff now. I like that.
Definitely more. I mean, we've hit a lot of the low-hanging fruit so far, but in this one, if we went to the goals on this one, we're going to improve our understanding of present value formulas. In the most recent lesson 8, we went a little bit more through future value. This is more present value. And then there's going to be a couple new formatting techniques that I don't use a lot, but when I do, wow, they're cool.
I like that. Cool. It's a good way to explain pretty much everything in Excel.
Everything. Yeah.
All right, so specifically, we're going to learn how to merge and center cells and do something called wrap text. There are shortcuts for these, but honestly, it's usually just faster to use the mouse instead of doing the shortcut.
Yeah.
We're going to learn how to do a spell check. I forget this one a ton, actually, when we do these. Anytime I'm working in Excel, I don't see the little red lines underneath and the blue lines like you get in Word, and so good to know how to spell check and just make it a habit. And then we're going to compute present value and yield to maturity. Should be pretty good.
Sounds good. Well, let's go ahead and get into it. And I tell you what, why don't you start rolling with this one, and I'll chime in as unnecessary.
So. As unnecessary.
Yes.
So what we have here on this bond information tab, our company is looking to issue a bond in order to raise money for a new facility. Company's goal is to raise $5 million, and they want a time period of... We can't see.
We can't see.
We don't know what's happening.
I don't know where you're reading all that. Yeah, so
it's just what happens next.
It would be nice if we could just see this all at once. I mean, we can see it up in the edit bar up above.
It's a little small. I got old eyes. I can't read that.
Yeah, you're 15 years younger than me, so 16 years. So, but anyway,
we're looking at a computer right now, but
we are. Oh, gosh. This guy.
Anyway, to merge, what we're going to do is merge and center and then wrap the text so it is easier to see.
Yep.
Remember, holding the shift key and using the arrows, I can highlight the area that I want to show, I guess anything that we're going to show.
Yep.
So again, holding the shift keys, I'm going to do all the way over to J, and then I'll go down a couple arrows there, hit wrap text, and it looks like it disappeared. Merge and center, and look at that.
And then I left a line at the end.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I forgot about that one. Yeah, I hit left a line there because it merge and center usually starts centered, but when you see things on official documents, usually it's aligned left. So the merge combined all of those individual cells into one big one, and then the wrap text says, okay, when you get to the end of the cell, just drop down to the next line.
Yep.
So now we have enough merged together, we can see the whole thing.
I don't do merge and center a ton. Obviously, this one, it makes sense. But wrap text, I do a lot with column headers and different things. So, but I definitely do merge and center as well. I like the way you showed that one. I would have showed it a little bit differently, but I prefer your way better, so I'm not even going to talk about my way.
Well,
I learned something.
It might be good for them.
No, we're just going to go on. I liked your way better there. That was awesome, actually.
Right.
So,
if you're in the more advanced method, to get the formula for this, you hit Alt and then H for home, and then you see there's a little W over the wrap text that would wrap the text for you, and then M for merge and center if you want to merge them all.
And a lot of me, my quick comment on shortcuts is if you're not going to use them very often, then you don't have to memorize those. I mean, great, remember it if you can, right? So, but I mean, you don't do this very often. So the shortcuts we're going to drive home are stuff that you do all the time.
Speaking of those,
does
this look okay to you?
Well, I was going to say yes, but now the way you framed it makes me nervous. I don't know.
That's the thing. You don't know, right? So what can we do to check? Maybe make sure everything is okay.
Is this where you're going with a spell check? Is that where we're going?
Spell check here.
Yeah. So spell check. Two ways to do it. So the slower way to do it is to go ahead and click review. All right. So go ahead and click review, and I'll go far left, go over to spelling, and click that. And yes, we want to click spelling at the beginning of the sheet.
It first checks just whatever you're highlighting.
Yep, so it's kind of going, it went to the end, but our misspelling is above that. And then it looks like Ben misspelled company. He doesn't know how to misspell company. So then he would just go.
You said I don't know how to misspell. That's a double negative, boss.
Did I say that?
Yeah.
Okay.
We got it.
We got it.
We get the idea. You see company there.
Yep.
And then it would highlight the cell where you have the issue, and then it can
just go
find
hit change. I mean, people have probably spell checked before in Microsoft Word or whatever.
I want to show them the fancy way, the shortcut way.
Oh, okay. Well, okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to cancel that, right? Instead of going through and Boz, actually use this one more.
I
You
use
should do it.
I use F7 all the time. Our co-professor, Mary Jefferson, actually taught me the F7. I didn't used to use it, and now I love it. So whenever I'm going to spell check, I just hit F7. And if you got one of those keyboards that you got to make sure you hit function beforehand, before the F7, make sure you do that. But
yeah, sometimes it won't work. Just make sure you've done it.
Yeah, so F7 just brings this up, and this also works in Microsoft Word and PowerPoint as well.
Cool. Good to know. Yep. So once you pick it, you can double-click on company. You can hit change. You're probably familiar with this. Do you want to continue checking?
Yep.
And then it says, all right.
Perfect.
Good to go with
We're
an
done.
exclamation point.
We are.
Let's move on to present value.
All right. Yeah, we got present value of a single amount and an annuity coming up. So two different, couple different formulas.
And then we're actually going to combine them here onto this total present value one.
Can't wait.
It's going to be good. So principal amount. Goal is to raise $5 million. So I'm going to put in a negative $5 million here. And the reason it's negative is because that is ultimately the amount that the company has to pay back at the end of the bond in this case. So company's paying it back, it's negative $5 million. The stated rate, as it says in our little practice problem here, is 7%.
Also known as the coupon rate.
Nice. The annual interest payment then we can figure out. It's just one payment per year. Simple example to help us learn everything here as we go through. $5 million times 7%. You'll see it also pops up as a negative. That's okay because the company is paying out $350,000. Our term in years given to us at 30, right up here in the problem. And then the market rate is 8%. So those are all the inputs. And what we're going to do is use that present value formula not once, not twice, but 3 times.
Whoa.
To show how it's all going to work.
Not once, not twice, but 3 times. And what we're expecting to see here is because we're offering a lower stated rate than the market rate, we're expecting that present value to come in less than $5 million. Let's see if we can make that work.
It's a good idea.
We're offering a poor interest rate.
Yeah, start with that overall expectation and see if the numbers line up. With this present value, it can get a little tricky with some of the numbers. All right, so let's start off here by calculating the present value of our interest payments. First thing that we're going to do, the formula that I like to use equals PV. PV for present value. Nice creative way of remembering everything for Excel. The rate that we're going to use, market rate of 8%, just arrow up there. Then you can use the comma, and it takes me through the next piece, number of periods. Again, using the arrow to get to 30, and then comma. Payment amount, well, every interest payment is going to be $350,000. So go up, highlight that one with the arrow key again, hit the comma. Future value, in this case, we're just looking at the interest payments, and there's no one major payment or anything like that for this bond. So we're going to put a 0 in it for that case. And then the last one is a type, where it asks about end of period or beginning of the period. Pretty much every time I see these, it's end of period. Do you have any?
Agreed, yep.
Okay. So you actually technically don't even have to put that one in. You could just close your parentheses right here and be done with it.
That's what I usually do.
Yeah, me too. I just don't even bother with it and hit enter. And there we go. We have present value of the interest payments.
All right. All right, well, that's good, Ben. Can I do the next one? Will you let me?
Please do. I get a little excited. Kind of took over a little there.
I'm going to do the principal payment one, and I just want to show an alternative way to do this one that sometimes I think can work. So as opposed to just typing in that equals PV, open parentheses, let's just go ahead and click up on the FX. All right, and when you click on that FX, now type in PV into that search box, and then click Go.
Look at that. PV is the most
Well, it's because we already did it.
It's almost like we practiced this.
Yeah, I just wanted to show them. Yeah, it's like you're exactly right because we practiced. Now you hit Go, and now PV will come up. Make sure you click on the PV, and then click OK. All right, and it's basically the same thing, but it gives you just a little bit more details if you can't remember everything off the top of your head. I mean, your way certainly is a lot more efficient, and you should use Ben's way eventually. This is just maybe when you're getting used to it if you can't remember the inputs.
Yeah, and what I love about this way, too, is that it gives a little description down at the bottom where the mouse is to, all right, number of periods, or NPER, what does that even mean? Total number of payment periods in an investment. So it's just a nice little explanation each time as you go through it.
Yeah. So when you go to the rate, you click in the rate box, and I'll go click on the market rate of 8%. Go to the number of periods, click in that box, and now go click on the 30 periods, so B10. The payment, we're now looking at the present.
What are you going to do now?
Why did you do that?
Because now the payment is gone.
Well, we don't have a payment because this is the present value of the principal.
Shoot.
So
that wasn't even my point that I was trying to make.
What point were you trying to make? Put
so
a
what
zero
I'm trying
in there?
to make is know where you can click this little up arrow, and then the whole thing shrinks, and you can just click on whatever you want. And then if you don't like it or you click the wrong thing, you hit the little down arrow. And it goes back. So
I never clicked that one, but that's great to learn that, man.
I don't really use it, but it's a cool feature. So maybe if you have a bigger data sheet, it's worthwhile.
I like learning that. Yeah. So now future value, you go ahead and click in that box, and the future value is the principal amount of $5 million. And again, the type we don't have to enter anything in. So now you go ahead and click OK.
Oh, I didn't see this before. It has a little result right there, so it already tells me what the answer is going to be. That's cool.
Yeah, just a different way to do it. So again, I would usually use it the way that Ben did it with the formulas I know well because it slows down to go through that. But if you're a little uncertain, you can look there for a little extra guidance.
Or even if you are just double checking something, want to make sure you're good to go. You think you got it, but you just want a little bit more of a refresher. Go for it.
Absolutely.
Hey, I'm going to sum these two together. How am I going to do it, Buzz?
If you want to be quick, you're going to do an alt equals, man.
Boom. Alt equals.
Nailed it.
Hit enter. Total present value, $4,437,000.
And it's less than that $5 million, and that's because we had a lower stated rate than the market rate. So we know we're feeling good.
We're good. But in practice, do you ever really see people calculate these two separately?
Do I see it?
Yeah. Interest payments in one and then principal in the other.
They always try to be efficient, right?
Yeah.
So I would say sometimes, but I think knowing how to do it all at once would definitely be effective as well.
There we go. So as a third example, just getting a little repetition, helping you practice this again, we're going to do present value. Instead of doing two separate, we're going to combine those two together. So we're going to do equals PV for present value. You can see this little bar here telling you what you need. If it's too far away, you can actually click and drag it to maybe put it up by your input.
Wow, I didn't know that.
I
think I'm learning more than the people listening.
I wish I had a way to zoom in on it, though, to make it a little bit bigger. But anyway, so then our rate is going to be that same 8% that we had before. The number of periods, 30. The payment amount, well, we know from when we calculated the interest, the payment was negative $350,000 each time. The future value, we knew from we calculated the principal, is negative $5 million. And Excel is smart enough that we can combine the two together. And
I hope it's going to be the same.
If we just close that last parentheses, it will, I'm confident. And then ignore the type here.
Nice. It's the same. Yep.
We did it.
We basically just combine the formulas just so you could just see how it looked separately and then how it looked together.
Cool.
So we've got it. It would be nice. Oftentimes, you know the present value amount of the bonds, and oftentimes you know what rate they're going to pay, but you don't know what the yield is. So it can be nice also to figure out how to compute the yield rate. And in this situation, we know that the yield rate, the market rate, should be 8%. All right, but let's see if we can prove that out by using our next formula here.
Cool. So sounds good. So to kick this one off, we're going to use equals rate in this case. And it says returns the interest rate per period of a loan on an investment. That's exactly what we're looking for. So equals rate, hit the tab key to select it. Number of periods that we have here, still 30, same example. The payment amount each period, $350,000. The present value amount, well, that's the one that we had calculated down here, $4.4 million. And then our future value is negative $5 million. And then it asks us for a type if we want it. Again, that's the same 0 or 1, beginning of year, end of year. We don't need that. That's not important at all. And this one asks for a guess. Do you ever enter a guess in what you think the yield is?
I've never done that. I guess I don't know what the purpose of that would be. So, because I think if you just close it off now, it's going to work, right?
Yeah, I don't know what the purpose of that would be either. But anyway, that gives us our rate of 8%, and that is exactly what we would expect it to be because that's how we built the problem. Mm-hmm. But this is how you can, if you're given certain information, you can calculate the other part, like the rate or the present value or the future value.
Yeah. So just as an example, sometimes in the market, you are just given the amount that the bond is trading at. So what you could do, just as an example, is change the principal amount in that situation to a minus 100. All right. And then go ahead and change the present value amount to 95. Sometimes you're just given those amounts. And then using that formula, we can see that the yield on that bond is 7.4%. And because that bond is trading at a discount, that means that you are going to be getting a higher yield than the coupon rate. So the 7.4% is greater than that 7% in that situation. So conversely, you could change that present value to just 105. Where it says 95 right down there, change that to 105, and you're going to see that yield now falls beneath the coupon rate of 7%. It falls down to 6.6. So just another way of how you might sometimes see that in the real world.
What's even cooler, boss, is that we created an Excel model where we just changed a couple of inputs. Mm-hmm. Everything changed along the way.
That's the cool part about it, definitely. Cool. So.
All right. Well, I think...
Should we wrap it up? Yeah. Did we cover everything we said we were going to cover?
Well, let's take a look. We should know how to merge and center ourselves.
We did it.
Wrap the text.
We did it.
Spell check.
F7.
And then we just finished up with present value and yield to maturity.
All right, I think that's a wrap for today. So come back and join us for Lesson 10 next time.
Sounds like a party.
See you then, Ben.
Bye. See you, Bob.